What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday night. This is the real Saturday Night Live right here, okay? Not the garbage that they put on now. Bring back some of the real SNL people, and I'll watch maybe. But until then, this is Saturday Night Live. This is the Midnight Mike Show. This is why I hate the New York Jets. This is our live stream. Saturday night, it's 9 p.m. here on the East Coast. Fight. It's 9 p.m. here on the East Coast. I want to talk about the Browns game. I want to talk about the upcoming Patriots game. I want to talk about the offensive line. And I don't know how many of you listen to me on Honest Abe's show called Honest Jets Talk. But I went over who I thought we should keep on the offensive line. It's not many. And I know that doesn't surprise anybody. Why would it? Because our offensive line has been disturbing, to say the least. This past week, Mekhi Becton looked like he was literally guiding the defenders into the quarterback for the sack or for the rush or for the hurry or for the pressure. He has gotten progressively worse and worse and worse throughout this season. Do me a favor. Anybody watching, hit the like button, okay? Because that will help more people see that I am live here on YouTube and on Twitter at Midnight Mike Show, MIDNITE Mike Show. I put the link in the comments so you could call in. Just hit that link. As long as you have a phone or a computer with a microphone and a camera, you could call in and talk to me here on the Midnight Mike Show and tell me why you hate the Jets. Another thing that you can do is if I'm hoping, actually, I want to thank Cleveland Browns fans. Just like I did in the past with Miami Dolphins fans, you guys really came out and made my video just do way better than I ever expected. The Cleveland Browns video is now my second most popular YouTube video that's on the New York Jets since I started covering the New York Jets and telling you all why I hate the New York Jets. But down in the comments section, there is a link that you could click on. You could call in. I'll see you in the I guess you call it the green room, or you can comment down below. And from what I'm to understand here on StreamYard, you could even comment down below if you're watching on Twitter. I didn't know you could do that. I knew you could stream to Twitter. I streamed the last 2 live shows to Twitter, but I had no idea that you could also get comments from Twitter. So either comment in the comments below the video on Twitter, comment below in the comments section on YouTube. I'll see the comments and I'll read them. And I also want to thank everybody, because when I started to cover the New York Jets, which was this season, and I'm a 40-year Jets fan. If anyone needs proof, I could bring pictures from the 80s, the 90s, and moving forward. Me at Giant Stadium, all that stuff. I'd be more than happy to do it. But it got to the point where I was just screaming at my wife or screaming at my mom or screaming at another family member or friend about the Jets. And they're just like, oh, God, like, okay, I get it. The Jets suck. You've been telling me that for 40 years. But yeah, honestly, I ever since I decided my goal when I started to cover the Jets was to hit all of the YouTube milestones in order to be able to have memberships and do extra content and get super chats and whatever else there is. And you people, you watching right now, you watching on the rebroadcast, whatever, you guys are responsible for having me literally, I think, under 50 subscribers away from hitting all milestones. I have the video, whatever it is, met. I have the 4,000 watch hours or whatever, that's met. And now I needed the 500 subscribers, then the 1,000 subscribers. And I'm, like I said, I don't know, like 40, 45, 47, 48 subscribers away from hitting that milestone. And my goal was to hit that before the end of this season. And hopefully with this upcoming Patriots game, it's the last game. This video, the Patriots game, I can get enough of you to go down and subscribe to get me over that 1,000 subscriber threshold. But it is you guys watching. It is you guys who like watching me act like a lunatic. And it may get to that at points tonight. When I mean, that Browns game, my God. And you saw my, 5 or 6 minute reaction video. I was fired up. We're going to get to all that. But once again, I'm Midnight Mike. Go down, comment below. I'll read your comments. I don't think you could super chat yet because I didn't apply for everything. But send me your comments, and the link is in the description. I will put it in one more time. I will, just to make sure it's there, I will put the link so you could call in the description. Just click it. You'll be through. You know, well, you'll be in my green room, and I'll be able to bring you up, and we'll be able to talk some Jets. I would love it if some Browns fans or some Patriots fans call in. Browns fans, if there's a Browns fan watching, I would love you to call in and tell me how nice it feels to make the playoffs. And I can live vicariously through you. Because the Browns, the Lions, the Jets, I mean, these are teams that not only have extremely loyal fan bases, but also are teams that every time something gets good, you know something's coming to destroy it. It's just what happens. I don't know what to say. You will break 1K in no time. Hey, I hope so. Like I said, my goal was to do it before the end of the season. So I have till the end of the Patriots game, and that reaction video will be, you know, I want to hit it while that video is gaining views or whatever. And I need like 40 something, less than 50, above 40. Please go down below and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And hey, you're right. I think I should do it. And thank you for the confidence, because I just want this channel to build. I said there's so many great Jets content creators out there, and I'm not trying to compete against any of them. They have a different style than I have. A lot of them are more fans, but almost they're a little bit more proper than me. Okay. I've said it before. When I used to go to Jets games during the Kenny O'Brien, Al Toon, Wesley Walker, Sack Exchange, Gastineau, Klecko, Lion, Salam. When I used to go to those games, I would be in the upper bowl of Giants Stadium. I was too young when they were in Shea. I think I was there the first year or second year they were in Giants Stadium. And I remember being up in that upper bowl, and it was unbelievable to me as a kid. And every guy around me was just a blue-collar, hard-working, everyman man, lunch pail guy who just the curse words that would be flying out of their mouths with no regard for children around them. That's how it was in the 80s. That's how we grew up. You know, we didn't need every stat. We needed the eye test. We looked down on the field and we knew who we liked and who we didn't like. And in New York, as a Jets fan, if we don't like you, it is hard to come back from that. Like, you really have to prove yourself as a Jets fan. So as much as I love, like, if you want that serious reporting, true fan, but, you know, most of the time will keep their cool, but give you all that information you need to go to other people and be like, hey, this stat, and this stat is why the Jets defense is better than. You go to Jake Asman. He's awesome. And he does his live shows in the weekdays in the morning and afternoon. So I'm not stepping on him. I love Green Bean. He's the same way. Every now and then Green Bean gets heated, and I like it. Every now and then Green Bean will let it slip, and he'll go nuts. I'm like, yeah, Green Bean, that's right. That's right, Green Bean, get pissed off. And he does his Tuesday show with Matt O'Leary and Ryan. Love those guys. But they keep their cool, too. They keep their cool. And they probably should. I bet you Matt O'Leary and Ryan aren't on heart medicine like I am. And I said, it's not because of the cheeseburgers. It's not because of, all the French fries I eat and the fast food that I love and the pizza, lasagna, chicken parm. It's not all that. It's the Jets. I told my doctor, he's like, what are you doing? What are you eating? I said, I'm a Jets fan. Doctor was like, oh, I understand. Here's your heart medicine. Right? I got some comments coming in. I really appreciate it. Once again, link is in the description. You just look for my comment and you can click on that and you can call in. I want to hear from you. Even if you're not a Jets fan, especially if you're a Browns or Patriots fan, I'd love for you to call in, but you're a fan of another team, give me a call. Talk to me about your team. Right now, I got the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions, and it looks like they're reviewing a fumble into the end zone by the Cowboys. The Cowboys, last time I checked, had a 7-3 lead, but this could have made it 14-3. I'm not sure if anyone else scored in between when I started this show and whatnot, but it sure looks like that fumble was into the end zone, out of bounds. And I don't know. They have some weird rules about fumbling into the end zone and stuff like that. So we will see how that game ends up. But yes, link in the description, and you could get on here with me. Thomas Anthony, Browns fan here. Love it. Yo, Thomas. Can I call you Tom? Congratulations. I'm not a Browns fan. We've had plenty of games with the Browns where I'm just sitting there hating the Browns. But seriously, congratulations. I know you guys suffer. Just like Jets fans. And you guys did what you had to do. You overcame obstacles because I guess your GM knows that when a player goes down and you have no one to back them up, you need to go out and make some trades. You need to go sign some people and get some people in to get you enough wins to maybe get you to the playoffs. And you guys did it. I don't know who your GM is, but I'd rather have him than Joe Douglas at this point. Joe Douglas did fucking nothing when Aaron Rodgers went down. You saw Zach trotting out onto the field, putting his helmet on. And Jets fans were nice that night. He didn't have a horrible game, but he came out onto the field, and it was a little silent, but I was fully expecting a chorus of boos. And Zach Wilson did not get that, at least from what I could hear. But as soon as Rodgers went down, man, Joe Douglas should have been on the phone. We could have brought back Flacco. Now, once again, Flacco behind our offensive line would not be doing what Flacco behind the Browns offensive line. And I know they're beat up. But the Jets offensive line is the definition of pathetic. You could look it up in the dictionary, and there'll be a picture of Mekhi Becton, and it'll say, pathetic New York Jets offensive line. And then with an example, picture 77, Mekhi Becton. Seriously. So congratulations. Look, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you guys are doing what we couldn't do. Seriously. Jay Baka used to work with Jay, WLW Studios. Good to see you live, pal. Absolutely. Jay, I know you work. Do you still work nights? But if you want to call in, I know you're a Cowboys fan. Are you watching the game right now? Still 7-3. Still 7-3. Cowboys over the Lions. It's a close one in Dallas. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Like I said, there's a lot of things I want to talk about. I will keep continuing to get to all of your comments. I want to talk about, here we go. Zachariah. What are you, MMA? Is that what that is? Are you boxer? Maybe it's my childhood nostalgia, but I miss Pennington. Was a great leader and tough, if nothing else. Look, I have weird feelings. I have weird feelings toward Chad Pennington. Okay. And if I had to name like my top 5 Jets quarterbacks, let's not even put Namath in there. Let's go of my lifetime. My top 5 Jets quarterbacks, I would not put Chad Pennington in that category. Okay. And it's because he came after Vinny. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it as I always say it. I love Vinny. Vinny is the man. I love Vinny. And so, but you're right. Pennington was a good quarterback, accurate. It got some injuries, but he was reliable when he was healthy, and he definitely served a good purpose. But I always liked the gunslingers. So Kenny O'Brien, Vinny Testaverde. I loved the season with Brett Favre, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I love those kind of guys. That's why I'm so excited and willing to give Aaron Rodgers a chance here. But Chad, you're right, man. Chad was good. I mean, especially when you look at what we're dealing with now, right? Jay.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Am I all right? Audio wise, it's the connection's a little sketchy out here.
No, yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Are you watching the Dallas game?
No, but I was Googling it here and there. I can't really watch it here at work right now.
Yeah, it looked like Dallas had another touchdown, but it was fumbled on like the 1 and into the end zone and out. And I believe by rule that would give it to the Lions.
Is that a touchback?
Yeah, that would be considered a touchback. Actually, the Lions are right on the goal line about to score.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, just let them on in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Yeah, survived another Christmas. How about you?
I had a great Christmas. I mean, my daughters had a better Christmas because
right.
Santa brought them a plentiful amount of gifts, whereas I actually get most of my gifts when I travel back to Jersey in early January, actually next weekend. So that's when my Christmas gifts that I get will mostly show up.
Okay, right on. Yeah, it's about the kids, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
they love
we're growing up now. It's which we make the best of it, right?
Absolutely. So so I know you're a Cowboys fan, but I know you've been watching some of my Jets videos.
Yeah.
Am I going to end up having a heart attack on air?
I mean, that depends on the circumstances. I would think. If God forbid, Aaron Rodgers, something happens again next year, I think he might at that point.
Oh. Look, I'm willing to.
I'm not wishing that at all.
I
Just saying.
know. Hey, it's the Jets' luck. It's what happens with this team. But I don't even think that the football gods could be that cruel to not give us at least one season with Aaron Rodgers. Now, look, that one season we may not make the playoffs, and we may be then in a rebuilding stage. But we would have to have, and I knock on wood because I can't believe it, just saying this sounds like, oh, that can happen. But I don't think. Imagine like how many teams do you remember, right? That in the last 30 years that had Super Bowl aspirations where people were actually picking them to go to the Super Bowl, and their quarterback went down in their starting quarterback who everything relied on went down in the first game from an Achilles tear. Now, that may have happened to other teams in game one, but has it happened to them twice? Vinny Testaverde, 99, Aaron Rodgers, 2023. Only the Jets. So it would be very Jets for next season, him to go down with another Achilles. I mean, look, we can't say it's impossible.
Right. Yeah, I can't think of anyone that went down on the first drive. I mean, there's certainly been draft busts or what have you, or like you said, they went down the first game. I remember didn't Brady go down in game one a few years back?
And I think that was courtesy of the Jets. I'd have to look that up.
It was still Patriots Brady.
But I know that the Jets were responsible for Tom Brady.
Okay.
The Jets were the ones who took out Drew Bledsoe, and Tom Brady came in, and the rest is history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Jets just know how to give other teams good luck, and we take in all the bad. Yeah,
that kind of is similar to the Joe Flacco situation, because
right.
Flacco was knocking on the door like, hey, I'd like I'm here too, or I'd like to offer my services, and nope.
No, we're good, Joe. We've got Zach Wilson.
I want a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know.
And this year, I mean, look, honestly, I don't like cocky teams. So sorry, your Cowboys would be
America's
out.
team and all that.
The Chiefs would be out. Like, I like rooting for underdogs, and as of right now, the Browns, when the playoffs start, I'll be honest, I might be rooting for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those sports Cinderella stories, I guess is the term. You know, I don't know if it's Cinderella exactly, because like Flacco, he had a career, he had won a Super Bowl and everything, then just come out of nowhere. But
I just got this comment in. I know you probably don't watch any other Jets content creators but myself, but one of the guys that I love, Ryan, from Jets Talk 24/7, his daughter's name is Shay, and I don't think that he named her after Shea Stadium, but it's still a cool concept. I forgot about that. He has 2 daughters. He actually had another daughter this past year. So
that's better than naming her city.
Then what?
I guess better than naming her city. I guess.
Yeah, or
city.
Or how about Eric Mangini? Eric Mangini, our coach, when Brett Favre came, I think he named his son Brett, and Brett was just using the Jets. He was just using the Jets for 1 year, and here goes Eric Mangini like a dumbass naming his son Brett. It's like, oh, you're such a loser.
Well, he was a man genius, pal.
No, he was a man genius for like 1 season. That's about it.
Yeah. Hey, quick question. You mentioned that the Jets took out Brady 1 year in the first game.
I think the year that Brady went down for the year, I'm pretty sure that was the Jets who took him out.
Did somebody get a payoff for that, pal?
Oh, I don't know. Were they pulling the Saints?
Maybe. You never know.
Maybe they were. Who knows? I mean, to be fair, didn't everybody want to get to Brady?
Oh, of course. Yeah. After the 3rd, 4th, 5th Super Bowl, sure.
Yeah. But, dude, thank you so much for calling in. I do appreciate it, and I love talking to you. I'm happy we got to talk. I mean, we talk on Twitter and stuff, and like comment sections and stuff like that. But it's nice to talk to you. Now, you were in Texas, so you liking the Cowboys makes sense. But now you're up in Oregon.
Yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
Yeah, been here 2.5 years now.
Wow, that's crazy. And so what do you do up there? Like, do you have something set up or?
Oh yeah, I'm currently at work. I'm a security guard.
Oh, you're not doing a good job, Jay.
Well, there's nothing to do.
Oh, okay.
It's a very quiet job. It's a good gig.
Good.
I get paid. I mean, I'm mostly killing time. Like I watch. I look at YouTube, podcast. I watch. That's
what I like about.
I download movies on my tablet, bring them here.
Yeah, that's what I like about my job is that I can always have like an earbud in and do what I'm doing and always be listening to like Jake Asman. He's another Jets content creator, and he'll put out like 2-hour shows a day during the week. And if I want, I can listen to all of them, and then I can listen to another 2-hour show with Green Bean and all them later at night, and so on and so forth. So those jobs are the best when you can do your job but still get lost in like an interest of yours.
Yeah, totally. Makes it easier to get along. Keeps you sane.
Absolutely. Jay, thank you so much. I do appreciate it, and we will talk soon.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad I could call in, man. It's good to see you. Hoping for a new year, new midnight jury.
That would be nice. It's hard to do that nowadays, but
I know. Yeah.
But I actually have a few old ones that we did like a year ago.
Actually, can I pitch you an idea on air, or do you want to? Or I could pitch it to you off air.
Is it for the jury?
For the Patreon.
Oh no, talk to me off air. Send me a message on
Okay.
DM or something like that.
All right. Sorry,
I'm
folks.
I'm reworking
Sorry.
all that. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Sorry to
But-
tease.
Yeah, no. But thank you very much. I do appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thanks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.
That was Jay Baka. As you can see, me and Jay know each other. We have done a lot of like podcasts and things together over the past like 10 years, and he is awesome. And I love talking to Jay. Like, we'll talk horror for like an hour, you know, because I was obviously with behind me, you could see that I'm also a huge 80s and 90s pop culture horror guy. Pop culture / horror, two separate things. I'm trying to, you know. But let me get back to some of your comments. And once again, I did put the link in the description again. You could call in just like Jay. He called in on his iPhone. He sounded fine. I could talk to him. You can too. You can too. Absolutely, Flacco better with the Browns coaching and team. Congrats. Yeah, that's the thing. Flacco would not be this good on the Jets. Should we have, when he called us and said, hey, you want some help? Yes. You don't say no when your other options at the time were Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. Like, what the fuck, people? Like, what is Joe Douglas thinking? Carson Wentz called us twice. He called us. We turned him down because Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle were so good, right? We were like, no, Carson Wentz, no, we don't need you. There's no way in any way that you could be better than Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle, right? But then right before he signed with the Rams, he called us again, and he's like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm going to sign with the Rams, but I do want to give you another shot. I want to give you another shot. Are you sure you don't need? Nah. We're so good right now. We got this. How did that turn out, Joe Douglas? You know, going into this year, I had the highest hopes, and I did not think that hopes for a general manager could be friggin' dashed in a season that the way Joe Douglas dashed my belief and hope in him. He made no trades, no big moves before the trade deadline, bringing in quarterbacks, you know, competent quarterbacks, bringing in people to back up our offensive line, maybe trying to bring in a wide receiver, because we lost Corey Davis before the season even started. It's ridiculous. Like, it pisses me off. Muay Thai. Dabble in MMA. Awesome, dude. I do get worried about stuff like that. I do worry about stuff like that. And here's why, because you're already seeing the CTE damage that you get from many years in professional boxing, because boxing has been around for 100 years. Football, you know, same thing. MMA, you know, when did it start? In the 90s with Ultimate Fighting Championship? That's when it like really became mainstream, or started to become mainstream. I do worry for a lot of these athletes and how their brains are going to look in 20 years from now, as like when they start getting in their 60s, 70s, 80s. Because when you guys, you're killing each other, you're pounding each other's faces with these little gloves. And that I'll tell you, that worries me. Scott Black, 40-year Dolphins fan, feel your pain. Scott, yes, I'm not saying that you don't. You guys haven't made the playoffs in what, 25 years? 20, 25 years? Or no, you haven't won a playoff game in 20 to 25 years. Yeah, that would piss me off. That would piss me off. So I get it. I'm not going to wish you good luck. You're a Dolphins fan. I hate the Dolphins and the Patriots more than I hate anybody. So I'm not going to wish you luck. But at least you're going to have the chance this season to get a playoff win, right? Jets don't have that chance. That chance ain't coming. So I'm glad. Hey, thank you for watching. Thank you to all the Dolphins fans who helped make, you know, their 2 reaction videos from this season, 2 of my highest viewed, you know, 10, 20,000 on those. I really appreciate it. Like, that is awesome. And like I said, before the end of the season, I would love to get to hit all those YouTube thresholds. And I'm so close. I have all the 4,000 watch hours. I have the videos accepted. All this stuff. The only thing I'm missing is I got to hit the 500 subscriber mark. I have to hit that 1,000, and my goal was before the end of the season. So if you're watching this, go down, hit the thumbs up. It's free. More people will see that I'm live. So thank you. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Get me to that 1,000. Get me to that 1,000. Niedermeyer, Belichick gift. Now, look, I'm behind, I guess. I guess this came in a little while ago. Everyone who's watching, please comment down below. You can comment on X, on Twitter, below the video, or you can comment below on YouTube. And I would really appreciate that, guys. And once again, you can call in. The link is in the description. The link is in the comments. Just look for my logo, my Midnight Mike Show logo. Not the one up here. The one, not that one. Or the one way up there. Not those. It's the old school 50s like Bolorama diner looking logo. And just click that link. As long as you have an iPhone or a smartphone or a computer, even whatever you got, give me a call. But I don't know what Belichick gift is. I don't know what that means. I want to talk about this Patriots game and the different options that we have going into this Patriots game. You know, we lose and we look like pathetic losers, right? Once again, it would be the 14th or 15th straight loss to the Patriots. That's embarrassing. I don't want that. That's fucking embarrassing. Think about that, people. 14 losses to the Patriots in a row. We haven't beaten them in 7 years. But if we lose, we get a higher draft pick. But once again, when you're drafting somewhere in that middle of the pack, like 6 to 14, let's say 6 to 15, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot in the top 5, folks. Look at our last 2 top 5s. Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold. How'd that turn out? They're both fuckheads. Sorry. I don't want to swear, but sometimes it just, God, I get so pissed off. Let me have a little drinky poo, right? And then we're going to get back to these comments. Let's pop another one up. Thank you, Spike. Thank you, Pseudo Spike. Hit the like button. Smash that like button for Mike. More people will see that I'm live, and it helps me out. Subscribe. Get me to that 1,000. I appreciate that. This is what it looks like, folks. This is the link down below if you want to call in and talk to me about the Jets. And like I said, I don't care if you're a Browns or Patriots fan. Give me a call. Give me a call. I'd love to argue with a Patriots fan. I'd love to talk to Browns fans about how awesome it is that they're going into the playoffs, right? How awesome is it? How does that feel? How does that feel? Because as I'm getting older, I remember things less. It's harder for me to remember things. And that happens with old age, right? That happens. So for me to look back and remember when we last made the playoffs, I don't remember that feeling. I don't remember that feeling. It's embarrassing. The Jets are so embarrassing. Pee-wee's burnt pizza. Is there any way that is a reference to Pee-wee Herman? Because I'm a fan. I'm a fan. There's Pee-wee. There's a talking Pee-wee doll up there behind me. I love Pee-wee. But he says, dog pound here. Jets will be a good team. Wilson is a beast and Hall. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Breece Hall, was it yesterday in the game versus the Browns? He was a shining star. I think he had, I know he had over 100 combined yards. I think he probably had closer to 150 to 200. But the way he was just juking out the defense and making, the offensive line is like, here, we're going to try to make you a hole, even though it won't work. Breece is like, you don't need to make me a hole. I got this. Right? And then, of course, he did it with the worst. Think about the last 2 seasons. The Jets have not had, and maybe there was one I don't remember, but the last Jet who went over 1,000 yards receiving in 2 consecutive years was Keyshawn Johnson. There might have been, correct me if I'm wrong, there might have been another. But Garrett Wilson, let's go through this. Ready? Hold on. Garrett Wilson, in the past 2 years, is our first Jet wide receiver in ages to go over 1,000 yards. And I'm happy that he did it in the 16 game, because the whole 17 game thing, that's new. Adding an extra game, it's dicey when it comes to records, right? But he did it in the 16 games. And this was his quarterbacks last season. Ready? Zach Wilson, crap. Mike White, decent when healthy. Chris Strevler, noodle arm. Right? And then Joe Flacco. Right? Okay. And he got 1,000 yards. This season, Aaron Rodgers for 4 plays. Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian. What the fuck? I mean, seriously. And he still got 1,000 yards. Look at some of his catches. It's unbelievable how good he is. Unbelievable how good he is.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, man? How you doing? What is that?
Hey.
Slendy?
Yeah, Mr. Slendy, man. What's up?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm a Browns fan, so I'm having a good week.
Awesome.
I'm not here to
rag on.
I'm not here to rag on you, man. It's been
but I want to know. I can't remember what it feels like to make a miraculous playoff run like the Browns did. It's got to feel good.
I've had 23 years of watching the Browns just be the absolute joke of the league. So I used to watch the Jets, man. Chad Pennington, what was the name of the kicker you guys drafted from Ohio State? Nugent. I loved it when you guys drafted Nugent,
Mike Nugent. I was about to say Ted Nugent, but it wasn't Ted Nugent.
No. That's a lot more hair and a lot more shooting guns.
Oh yeah, that would have been real interesting.
Yeah, but Breece Hall is him. You guys should be excited about that. This was like the first time I really got to watch him, and he scared the heck out of me on Thursday.
But I'll tell you what, man. I'm worried because guys like Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Sauce Gardner are all up for their contracts at the same time. And if they keep playing on crap teams like this with crap coaching like this, they're not going to resign.
How is Salah's job safe? I don't understand.
Neither does any Jets fan.
When they're saying that his job is, I'm so glad we didn't get him, because when we signed Stefanski, it was Salah or Stefanski, and man, we made the right choice there. And then you guys gifted us Flacco, so thanks.
I can't even say we gifted you. Because he wasn't on the team to start the year,
but he called
twice. He called twice. And we're sitting there literally like looking at Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson and being like, oh, we're good. We got this. Like, what a joke.
I don't know, man. Zach Wilson just looks fragile. I'm sorry for you guys. He looks like he's 12. I can't take him seriously when he's behind the podium. I'm like, who put a kindergartner up here?
I completely agree. Now, look, I understand he's young. And even if you watch like some of my early Jets videos from earlier this season, I wanted to support Zach. I really wanted to support him. Not that I wanted him over Rodgers or anything like that. I wasn't what we in New York call a Zach truther. But I just wanted, I will support any player who goes out on that field and puts on a Jets helmet. And he just constantly let me down, and looked like just lost out there.
Yeah. And, I was interacting with some Jets fans earlier, and they seemed to think that Siemian looked good on those couple drives. And I tried to remind them that we put in our backups. No,
but here's the thing. Any somewhat average to below average quarterback play that a Jets fan sees, to us, that's like Peyton Manning. Like
as a Browns fan, I feel like I feel that. I do. I mean, we rooted for Johnny Manziel, for Christ's sakes. I mean, but man, for you guys, it hasn't been. Oh, well, no, I guess you had Sanchez. Oh, it has been a rough little go for you guys.
Seriously, I said it earlier on this show. I like the gunslingers. So growing up in the 80s, I loved Ken O'Brien. I fucking love Vinny Testaverde.
We had him too.
Yeah, yes, you did. I loved the season we had Brett Favre, and I
Mhm.
didn't realize that he was hiding an injury and cost us the playoffs in the end until after the season was over. And then I loved that one season we had with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, Fitzmagic was great.
I
That was
mean,
great.
I love those guys, and I can't even remember what it's like to have, like Fitzpatrick was it. He was the last time, and he he holds the Jets right. He played with us for 1 or 2 seasons and holds the Jets record for most touchdowns in a season. Like what? That just goes to show how bad our quarterback play has been since 1963 or 4 when we became the Jets.
Yeah, well, at least you never had to put up with Brandon Whedon. Thinking Brandon Whedon's old ass coming out of college was going to take us somewhere, or I don't know, man. It's been a carousel in Cleveland. It's the joke of the league, right? Our quarterback. We haven't really had a guy
Not
sling
anymore.
it like Flacco has since Derek Anderson in 07 when Josh Gordon was putting up ridiculous numbers, but he couldn't lay off the pipe long enough to stay in the league. So yeah, this is the first time I can remember in a long time that I've just been enamored by quarterback play, because don't get me wrong, I loved Baker. I was upset that we got rid of Baker. I didn't want Deshaun. There's too much baggage there, but that's a whole nother story. But Baker wasn't out there throwing 300-yard games with 3 tutties,
Do you think that Flacco can continue this into the playoffs? And another question: Do you rest Flacco next week?
That depends on the results of the Miami-Baltimore game.
Oh, true. Because you guys
If the one, yeah, if the not just that, but if the 1 seed's still in play too,
yeah,
then we got to play him. But
I completely forgot. My God, that's got to feel good.
yeah, man.
Seriously.
Yeah, and I think if any quarterback could do it, it's Joe Flacco. I mean, when it comes to the playoffs, that guy just becomes somebody completely different. So,
I mean,
and I remember it as a Browns fan watching the Ravens just Joe Flacco beat up on it. I don't think he ever lost a game in First Energy Stadium. I think that was a stat that they said when he signed him. He's never lost in Cleveland.
oh boy.
Like
It was lighting you guys up. I mean, but you guys were having really a lot of bad years during that time.
Oh, it's every year's been a bad year except for we made it to playoffs in 02 with Butch Davis coaching us. I remember I was a little kid then, man. I was only born in 89. So that's right when I first started watching the Browns. William Green was the running back. We had Dennis Northcutt, Dalen McCutcheon. Yeah, I remember 02, and then we didn't make it to the playoffs again until 2020, and we couldn't really celebrate it because it was COVID year, so we weren't allowed at the stadium, so it was a playoff run, and we beat the Steelers in the playoffs, which was a big deal, but it just didn't feel right with all the COVID restrictions in place.
Yeah, well, I remember when they said that on the broadcast, and they said, "Oh yeah, the Browns made it in 2020." But that was the COVID year. I went, oh, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, couldn't even be there.
Yeah, you can't even celebrate with the team.
Yeah.
But hey, you guys were celebrating that last. What was it? It was yesterday.
Yeah, the city didn't go to sleep until like 4 a.m. And it was
That's
you would have thought we won it all. It was crazy in Cleveland.
That's awesome. Seriously, I told a previous caller, Jay. I told him I think I like rooting for the underdog, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think going into this playoffs, as of right now, I'm rooting for the Browns, because it's a team like the Jets. I always put the Jets and the Browns and the Lions in because it just doesn't seem like, I know the Cardinals have been through shit, and I know that there's other teams that have been through shit, but it's the Jets, the Lions, and the Browns seem to have such diehard like fans that no matter how bad they do, we're just, even if we're bitching about it, we're just still there and going to support the team. And
I watched every game during the 0-16 season. I watched every game, and I was not happy about it, but I did it.
Hold on. After that, and you guys then went into the next season, who was the first team you beat?
Okay, calm down.
It was the Jets.
Yeah, but then, hey, that comeback you guys pulled off last year hurt. That hurt, man.
That and that was Joe Flacco, quarterback.
Yeah.
My God.
Down 13 with 2 minutes left. And you guys come back and beat us. And I remember we were already celebrating, man. Like, now it's
I just want to say that I can't. My eyes are getting worse and worse. I said I need to get readers. Would you be against Josh McCown joining our staff? Look, it's over. If you're talking about 2023, there's no point. Let's just ride it out with Simeon, see if he could beat the Patriots, and let's just get the season over with, end the pain, and go into 2024 and see what we can do. You know, we'll get Hard Knocks in here again to pump everybody up and get everybody all excited. And then Aaron Rodgers will maybe he'll double his output next year and get 8 plays. That would be awesome. That would be great.
Josh McCown threw the ball for us too. He's on that
He
jersey
did for us
with all
too.
the quarterback names. Oh man, my dad called him Mr. Valiant Effort. He would go in there, and Josh McCown tried real hard, but didn't really turn out.
That in one of the and I don't even know because the bowl games are so watered down now. There's like the Poland Spring Tony the Tiger Fiesta Bowl or whatever it is.
Exactly.
You know? But did you see in one of the bowl games, Josh McCown's son QB'd, starting QB'd against Chad Pennington's son, and they were both Jets?
No.
Yeah, they played again. I don't know who won or anything. I didn't even care, but I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That's
like,
a cool little factoid right there.
Yeah, Jay says Vinny and the Jets. That's right. Vinny is my favorite Jet of all time, period.
Oh, come on. He was colorblind, man. Nobody threw more interceptions, but looked good doing it than Vinny Testaverde.
Look at Vinny's 98 stats. That's why I love Vinny. You have to remember, I went from the Jets sucking from the time I became a fan in like 83, right? So they had a few good years there in the 80s with Ken O'Brien, but never the closest we got to an AFC championship game, they got there before I could walk in like 81. But the closest we ever got, here come the Browns again, was the AFC divisional round in like 87. And we were beating up on the Browns and we were getting ready to go. They even said, and the Jets are going to be going to the AFC championship game. And then you guys had the ball and Bernie Kosar drops back to pass, throws the ball. And then like 5 minutes later, Mark Gastineau just buries him in the dirt and gets a penalty. And from that point on, the Browns went down and scored and did what they had to do to end up winning the game. So when Vinny in 98 brought us to the AFC championship game, I was on literally cloud 9. Like he became my forever hero. I was 18 at the time or whatever, but it didn't matter. Like that guy, aside from like my dad, Vinny Testaverde was like the number one hero in my life. And I think he went 12-2 in the regular season. He went 12-2 and threw like, God, I think he threw, I don't even remember his stats, but I want to be, it was like 30 touchdowns to like 4 interceptions or something like that. He had such a great team around him: Wayne Corbett, Keyshawn Johnson, Curtis Martin, the defense. I mean, it was just what a great team. I'm now getting into that nostalgia thing.
That's all we Browns fans have had to live on forever. I hear all these great stories about how the Browns in the 80s but I mean, I wasn't born yet. So my whole life watching football, it's either we didn't have a team because Art Modell sold us to Baltimore, and then when we got a team, it's just been a factory of sadness year after year. So, like I said, I didn't come in here to rub it into you, man, but man, it feels good on this side.
I'm like I said, I was pissed off yesterday when the game ended, or 2 nights ago. But I was pissed off all yesterday. But now, like I look at it and I'm like, how can I obviously you're an AFC team, so I'm going to have a little bit of a grudge. We've had history, Jets and Browns. But how can I be upset that not even for the Browns, but for you guys, for the fan base, you've got to be happy to know that one day I'm hoping that I feel that way, the way you guys are feeling right now. And maybe we'll feel even better. Like you said, if the Ravens drop the next 2 games and you guys win, wow. Like what a season.
Could be the 1 seed.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
I just want to say to Joseph, Happy New Year to you too. Thank you for going on. Anybody, please hit the subscribe button. I got to get to that 1,000. And yeah, that'd be great. But,
I hit the like and I subscribed. I'm subscribed to all around, to all the, I got, I follow Grossi, obviously, and Perna and all those guys on YouTube, but there's Engraven and all that. And so I like having my feelers out there. That way, when we're coming up, I got a go-to guy that I scout the team on. So you're that now for me, Mike.
Well, most of the time you're just going to see me screaming and swearing, but you know.
You guys caught a bad break with that Rodgers injury, though, man. I mean,
yeah, that was a bad break.
Not every team can.
I'm telling you, I have a picture.
4 quarterbacks like the Browns.
I have a picture of right as Monday Night Football was starting, me sitting on the couch, and I don't buy Jets jerseys anymore of like current players. I refuse to until the Jets get to an AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl, because I've bought so many shit jerseys that it's hard to wear anymore because whatever, that eventually got to the point where like I'm not doing that anymore. But when Rodgers came on the team, I said, I'll buy a shirt. The shirts that are jersey, they look like a jersey, but it's just a t-shirt. So I bought one for me and I bought one for each of my daughters. One's 7, one's 3. And I have a picture of us sitting in front of the television. My wife took it from behind, all wearing our Rodgers, shirts or whatever. And they were actually wearing them to bed that night because, they had to go to bed. And my wife calls them up at the beginning of the game and she's like, all right, girls, come upstairs. We're going to brush your teeth or whatever. The girls didn't even get done brushing their teeth. And I walked up the stairs to my wife and I went, well, it's over. That's it.
I watched it too. It was rough.
Yeah. She's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, Rodgers just popped his Achilles. Like, I know it. This is a Vinny all over again. I know it. This is the Jets. He's out for the season. And it was just so depressing.
Imagine if you guys had taken Flacco up on his call then and he was playing like this.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't. Your guys' O-line, I'm sorry. Yeah. The O-line is.
And I know your guys' O-line is a little beat up too, but it's like the Jets' O-line is so bad that Flacco would have just gotten buried.
I do want to say that you guys got away with holding Myles Garrett for 99% of the game. Becton couldn't do anything. He just had to grab on and hold on for dear life.
No, I don't know if you heard me earlier, and I think I said it in my reaction video, but it looked like at points Becton was leading your defenders into the quarterback. He was like, here, go right here. This is where he'll be.
Yeah.
Scott says, surprised you dislike the Dolphins more than the Bills. Patriots and Bills have destroyed our teams. Look, I have a soft spot. I've said this before on my show. I have a soft spot for the Buffalo Bills. I do dislike them. But during the 90s, my aunt was a cheerleader for the Buffalo Bills and went to all 4 Super Bowls. They're called the Buffalo Jills. And so I always did have a soft spot for the Buffalo Bills. So that's all I'll say. I mean, I hate them. Obviously, I don't want them to win anymore, but I did have that history with the team where if the Jets didn't win, and at the time in the late 80s, early 90s, or in the 90s, at the time the Dolphins were the team to hate in the AFC East. So the Bills kind of flew under the radar, and since my aunt was on the cheerleading squad, it made it easier for me.
I don't know why. I've never had an extreme dislike for the Bills. Or like been overly crazy. I know that I was mad that we drafted Baker and not Josh Allen in 2018. I wanted Josh Allen so bad.
Well, yes. Overall, obviously Baker's putting up a pretty good season this year. But what were you guys going to do? Sit around and wait 5 years for that to happen? You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when people bring up, oh, well, did you guys let Geno Smith go? Oh, so what were we supposed to do? Wait 9 years? And exactly. Now he's having so I mean, it is what it is, and Josh Allen clearly is the overall better quarterback, but Josh Allen hasn't led the Bill. He led them to one AFC Championship game, and they lost, and other than that, it's been mostly disappointment with him because he throws so many interceptions.
Yeah, but so is Flacco right now too, so I got no room to talk.
Well, no, how many did he throw last night? Only one, right?
Only one, but I mean, he's you give you at least one a game. But the Bears, he threw 3, and it's just sometimes it gets scary. But
is he matching with touchdowns though? At least
he's over it in touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean, look, but once again, our
it's like
our bar is so low.
13-8, I think, is the number in 5 games.
Zach Wilson hasn't had 13 touchdowns all season.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that. Yeah, the Joe Flacco in 5 games has more throwing touchdowns than like 3 franchises. Period. Like the Jets.
Yeah, not even just Zach Wilson.
And I think the Titans were the other one.
It's bad.
It is. Yeah, and we were talking about jerseys earlier. I bought 2 jerseys, and that was Joe Thomas, and then I Nick Chubb. This
Oh
city
man, seeing that
loves Nick
injury
Chubb,
earlier
man.
this year.
I thought it was over then.
Oh, that was
We didn't-
brutal. Like, has there been any updates on his rehab? Like, is it going well? Is he expect? I mean, because that was bad. That looked bad.
It was going so well. At one point, they were talking about technically, if we made it to the AFC Championship game, he'd be allowed to come back in and play. But I don't even if we did see that happening,
Yeah.
because the conditioning and stuff like that. But it's going well. He broke the guitar before the game. Uh, I've seen him in a brace a couple times in some pictures, and some pictures he doesn't. So it looks like physical therapy's going well. But they fully expect him to be back next year, and it's
That's
not
good.
the first time that a knee injury has happened to him, and he bounced back from the last time. So
Well, another thing is with Chubb, it's like with Rodgers, it's like if you guys make it to the AFC Championship game, it's like you clearly have the talent to you got there. So with me, I didn't want when Rodgers was saying, "Oh, if the Jets are still able to make the playoffs, I'll play in the Cleveland or in the New England game." And I was like, "Please don't," because God forbid something else happen. Then all 2024 could be. I know he would have time to rehab, but God forbid something else happens, like a bad head injury, something like that. If I was a Browns fan, I'd probably say, "Hey, Chubb, just wait till next year, man, because if we make it to the AFC Championship game or we make it to the Super Bowl, well, then next year you'll be there to help us repeat."
Exactly. And
Yeah,
at this
don't
point,
risk.
after the Watson injury and the Chubb injury, and Delpit's been down for most of the year. We lost Jack Conklin week 1, like 3 plays into the game. And every game we've won since then, no Browns fan expected us to win. So every game that we've won this year has been a gift. So even if we don't make it that far, we already Kevin Stefanski is coach of the year. I don't know how you argue for anybody else to do what he did, the magic he pulled this year with 4th and 5th and practice squad players. We had practice squad kickers in against you guys.
I'm trying to think of another coaching candidate that could even take that spot. But like, who is the guy you guys brought in after Deshaun Watson went down with the 2 names?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the rookie.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this guy, and he came in and won some games.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then who else? Who was between him and Flacco?
Well, it was Watson, PJ Walker, DTR.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Flacco.
Yeah.
And DTR, like his first game against the Ravens, when the Ravens just completely killed us, he found out he was playing 2 hours before the game. Deshaun Watson went out. He told everybody all week he was going. He went out, he warmed up and said, "Nope, I can't go." And DTR, who got no reps, had to go in against the Baltimore Ravens, and he just got embarrassed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with no, I mean, a rookie with no, not even a week worth of like first team reps. And that's going to happen.
Yep. And then PJ Walker won us a couple, and I don't know how. Sometimes it felt like PJ Walker was getting paid off to throw the amount of picks he did. But he won a couple. And then once we signed Flacco, we cut him. And then we had to sign him back because DTR got hurt coming in on those trick plays against the Bears. He got rolled up on. So now DTR's on IR. So we actually have a PJ Walker back on the squad now after we cut him. But anyways, I need to run, man. But this was nice, Mike. You got to like and subscribe for me, man. I hope I talk to you again in the future, brother.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, you have a nice setup over there. You got a good mic and everything. So do you?
Oh yeah, I do have a channel, but we do Dungeons and Dragons content. It's I'm Mr. Slendy.
And that's what you look up on YouTube, Mr. Slendy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a DM. We just started posting our games and whatnot, but I love Browns football, so I decided to stop it.
Dude. Call in whenever you want. I do plan when the playoffs start. I do plan on reacting and doing and talking about those games. And since I'll be back in the Browns, I'd love to have you or other Browns fans come on.
Heck yeah.
So have a good night, man. I do appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, I said it before. I'll say it again. Your comments are coming in. I will get to a few more of those. The show will be wrapping up soon. Let me look at. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock, and that's usually my get out of here time. But I got a good amount of you here, so I will continue. If anyone wants to call in, I do have the it looks like this in the comments section. It's not my Midnight Mike Show Jets logo. It's that Midnight Mike Show logo. And you'll just see the StreamYard link. You can click on that, and then you'll get through to talk to me like Slendy and Jay, did. But I do appreciate you guys in the comments section. Jay's actually still with us. It says they didn't even finish brushing their yeah. That was my Rodgers playing for the Jets experience. Me and my girl sitting on the couch, watching Rodgers run out onto that field with that American flag while the whole stadium flashed. And then my wife goes, "Girls, come upstairs. It's time to brush teeth." And me walking up before they could finish and being like, "It's fucking over. It's done. He's done." Now, once again, that game turned out, the stink of shit that happened when Rodgers went down somehow turned out smelling like a rose. Somehow ended up smelling like a rose for that game. Then we lost 2 in a row. We didn't know what a TD was. Yeah, and I assume this is talking about how Joe Flacco came in and in 3 games threw more touchdowns than Zach Wilson or the Jets. Yeah, that's how fucking embarrassing it is to be a Jets fan. That's what it's like to be a Jets fan. And just like any team, any fan of any team is welcome to call me. Patriots fans, especially because we got this game coming up. I wanted to talk so much more about this Patriots game. Maybe I'll do, because I do usually do a Thursday video where it's a short, like 6 to 10 minute video previewing the next week. So maybe I'll save that for that. And then, of course, my reaction video after the game. And then Saturday nights, 9 p.m. I'm hoping I'm not stepping on any other Jets content creators. I'm going to start coming on here live and doing this show. And I know it's a shit time slot. It's not, obviously, if I could do it during the week, during a time I know tons of people are available and watching, I do it. On my YouTube studio account, it shows me when most of my subscribers and stuff are online or on YouTube watching videos. But during those times, I'm taking care of my kids, or I'm helping my wife take care of or I'm at work. So it turns, this is the time I can do this. You know what I'm saying? This is the time I can do this. Scott Black says, makes sense. Enjoy your passion. I would definitely go for Jets over Bills and Pats. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, for me, it's like I grew up. I feel like everything gets ingrained in you in your first like 10 years of fandom. And in my first 10 years of fandom, I saw a couple playoff appearances, but even let's say my first 15 years. In my first 15 years, I saw I think 2 playoff appearances where they lost. They didn't win till like 98. And I saw like a 1-16 season. Right before that, a 3-13 season with Rich Kotite at the helmet head coach. I saw a bunch of losing seasons. I saw a bunch of sad football. The Boomer Esiason years. Look, I have 2 Boomer jerseys. I've worn them on this show. I've worn my 75th anniversary patch Boomer Esiason jersey, legit from 1994 or whatever year that 75th anniversary was. I have a picture of me getting it that year for my birthday. And I still wear it. And I still wear it on this show. And I loved Boomer. Was he good for the Jets? No, he was good for the Bengals. And by the way, you know who you are. You know who you are. Who call them the Bengals. They're the Bengals. Bengals. They are not an 80s girl group. Okay? The Bengals sing Walk Like an Egyptian. The Bengals sing Eternal Flame. The Bengals have stripes on their uniform and play in the NFC or AFC North. Okay? There's the difference. The Bengals. Like, come on. Like look, people all have pet peeves about things. Like when people say supposedly. People, that gets to me, but not as much for some reason as when people call the Bengals the Bengals. Look it up, people. Look it up. Hello, Midnight Mike. Hey, Michael. I'll be Mike. You be Michael. Clearly a Cleveland Browns fan. Congratulations. I was just talking to Mr. Slendy, Browns fan. I really do. I'm now that we're like a day and a half removed from that, 2 days removed, whatever it is. I'm happy for you guys, and you guys are probably going to be the team that I root for in the playoffs, because I always want the AFC to beat the NFC, but it's hard. Like the Chiefs, I'm over that. They're like Mahomes sometimes seems like a crybaby. I can't stand this Taylor Swift shit, and I've said this before. Like Taylor Swift to me was a nobody, and I don't mean that insulting. I mean she just wasn't on my radar as a human being. I didn't dislike her. I didn't like her, but having to hear all about it's like, I don't care. I don't care. And like, if it's on the news, or if it's in People Magazine, or if it's on TMZ, or if it's fine, I have no problem with that. But when you're watching Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, and they're constantly talking about Taylor Swift, especially in the beginning of this relationship, and constantly, hey, well, let's see what Taylor thought of that play. Who the fuck cares what she thought about the play? I'd rather see what the fat dude with his shirt off with his belly painted in in section 202, row F, seat 5 has to say about it, or his reaction. Not Taylor Swift, who's been a fan of football for 8 minutes. Jesus Christ. So for me, Taylor Swift went from being literally not on my radar, like a nobody, to me not liking her. And it's not her fault necessarily. I get it. It's not her fault. But the Chiefs, I don't want to see them win again. That's tired. Obviously, I don't want to see the Bills or the Dolphins. They're in my division. Who else is there? The Ravens. I'm like, the Ravens are I don't feel either way about the Ravens. But they have had a good team and a good squad for many, 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 many years. Maybe a few bad ones. But the Ravens, when I think of the Baltimore Ravens, I think of a successful franchise. A couple Super Bowls in there, So they're not like the Browns. I lived through the drive, though, the fumble, though, the shot, and 40 plus years of misery. Yeah, Michael, you've got those. I match the drive, the fumble, and the shot in 40 years of misery with another 40 years of misery on my side with the butt fumble, the fake spike, and the fail Mary. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Jets fans and Brown fans are so similar that it's hard for me to not at least root for the team because their fan base has been through the shit that we have been through. Seriously, think about that. Like this video, get thumbs up, guys. I'm going to stick on for a little longer because you guys are still writing in, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to drop my link again if you want to call in. This will be the last time I drop the link in the comments section, and there it is. If you want to call in, hit the link, and all you need is your iPhone. Honestly, you can have a cool setup too. Like Jay called in on his iPhone because he's at work. Security guard at I hope it's at Nakatomi Plaza. You're going to be in trouble then, Jay. But, or you could be like Mr. Slendy and call in and he has the whole setup. Boom. It doesn't matter. All you need is a mic and a camera. And every phone has a friggin' mic. And hit the like button. Hit that subscribe. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. When I started this show, my goal, when I started the Jets, meaning not the Midnight Mike show, but the Jets content on the Midnight Mike show, my goal was by the end of the season to have all the milestones reached, 4 super chats, 4 memberships, 4 that stuff, so I can work that out in the off season. And I need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. I got the 4,000 watch hours, and I'm under 50, around 40, 50 subscribers away. And I'm hoping I'll get that, honestly, with the Patriots reaction. So we'll keep going through your comments. Oh, awesome. Redskins. Love it. Old school. When I covered the game versus Washington and in the reaction video, I called them the Redskins the entire time because I was fired up and whatever. And we won that game and I was still fired up and acting all crazy. But they're the Redskins. They're the Redskins to me. The Commanders. That's such a stupid name. And those jerseys are fucking ugly. Those are ugly. I thought when they went to the football team, that wasn't even bad. I would have kept it that. I would have rather, if I was a Redskins fan, I would have rather stuck with the football team, the Washington football team, or the football team of Washington, something like that. I thought the uniforms looked old school with the numbers on the helmet. I thought that looked cool. The Commanders, that looks like crap. The whole thing looks like crap. And he writes in, if we were to play the Jets again, I see us losing. Yeah, probably. The Jets, there are teams that the Jets should beat. And the Redskins are one of them. The Patriots are one of them. The Panthers are one of them. The Cardinals are one of them. These are all teams, the Giants are one of them. These are all teams that the Jets should easily beat. And yet we still had a problem with the Redskins and with the Giants. Barely beat both of those teams. Barely. Horrible. Jets suck. They just suck. I agree with you about the Taylor Swift shit. There to watch football, not girly girl music. Yeah, I don't like her music. My wife I think likes her music, but I know my 7-year-old likes her music. I have no problem with that. She carries herself a little better than like the whores that you see in a lot of pop culture. And I'm not just talking about girls, by the way. Some of these famous artists just look either like complete scumbags or whores. And she carries herself with a bit of class. I do like that about Taylor. But I always said she looked like a mouse. I realized the other day I walked into my wife's area. I forget, was it upstairs? I don't even remember. But my 7-year-old was watching it. She doesn't look like a mouse. She looks like a chipmunk. Look at her. It's not a mouse. It's a chipmunk. She's pretty. I'm not saying she's not pretty. I'm not trying to be that insulting. Moving along, you think Rodgers is going to save you guys? Rosario Rivera, yes. Okay, this is something I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to break it down to you. I get this a lot in my comments section where people are like, "Oh, you think Rodgers is just going to come in and save the team?" And it's like, no, that's not what I've ever said. And here's how I will say it, and I'll break it down for all of you. Very simple, and I appreciate all of you in here. You guys, a lot of you in here. This is like I just started my live shows. This is my 3rd live Jet show. So I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes, those of you watching. Seriously, but let me break this down as to why Rodgers will help the team and will bring us to the playoffs next year if a few things happen, okay? Number 1, our defense. Most of that defense is coming back. We've had a couple sketchy games here towards the end of the year, but when your defense is playing 3/4 of every game because your offense can't get off the field, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, they can't score. They're scoring 3 points a game, 10 points a game, 6 points a game, 13 or 16 points if we're balling, right? The defense is playing 3/4 of every freaking game, right? So the defense pretty much will stay intact. We don't have to do much. Sign Bryce Huff. That's the big thing. Get Huff re-signed. Get him signed, right? So the defense, we're fine. We're going to have another top 5 defense, okay? On to the offense. All we need to do first, before I talk about the O-line and the wide receivers, first, Rodgers is going to get the ball out a half a second to a second, probably not a full second, but at least a half a second to 3/4 of a second quicker than Zach or Trevor or Tim Boyle or whatever. He's smarter, right? And you may not think that real football fans know what I'm talking about, but you may not think that a half a second is a lot, but that's a long time. 3/4 of a second is a long time. Rodgers is going to get the ball out, excuse me, in that time. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, we're keeping our coaching staff. Why? Who the fuck knows? They all fucking suck. Except defense. We're leaving defense out of this. But like Saleh is shit. Like clearly he doesn't know how to help an offense. Right? Hackett sucks. But Hackett's, in my opinion, the reason he was good with Rodgers is because he's a yes man. He went out there, he called a play, right? And Rodgers looks at him like, this fucking idiot. I'll tell him what I'm going to do. Right? So Hackett calls in a play. Rodgers looks at the defense, goes, that moron, changes the play to what it needs to be, And whether it works or it doesn't work, Nathaniel Hackett is not going to give him shit when he walks to that sideline. He's going to be like, oh, yeah, that's what I would have done, Rodgers. That's what I would have done, Aaron. Good job, A-Rod. Good job, buddy. So our offensive coordinator next year on paper will be Nathaniel Hackett. But if he stays healthy, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is a fucking genius when it comes to football. This guy has nothing else to worry about except football. Right? So now on the offense, we have Rodgers making the play calls, Rodgers getting the ball out a half second to a second quicker. Okay? So now what do we need to do? We need to protect Rodgers. Draft first round offensive lineman, preferably tackle. Third round, we don't have a second round pick. Third round, draft another offensive lineman. You could keep going. You could draft everyone an offensive lineman, and I'm okay. Now, people have said in the later rounds, do we want to grab a quarterback and just, let him sit behind Rodgers? Sure, fine. The first two, round 1, round 3, got to be offensive linemen, right? Then in free agency or in a trade, we need to get a legitimate wide receiver 2 behind Garrett Wilson, whether it's a trade to Devontae Adams or whether it's Higgins or Evans. Get one of these guys in there, and then I'm okay with Lazard being QB or a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. And I've said this before too. Yes, Lazard has sucked this year. But for all the receivers on the Jets, not just Lazard, when you have quarterbacks like Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle and all these guys, when they throw the ball, you don't know if you're you don't know if you're diving out here to get the ball, if you're gonna have to slow turn around, if you're gonna have to jump. You don't know. These guys, it could go anywhere. Aaron Rodgers, 80-90% of the time is hitting you in the numbers or in your hands. So it's going to make them better as receivers. So the only thing I want when it comes, this is what we need to do. Protect Rodgers. If Rodgers stays healthy and is protected, going to get the ball out quicker. He's going to get more calls, by the way, because the refs don't call a personal foul, roughing the passers on the Jets. In the past, 2-3 years, I think we've gotten 2, right? And it's because they don't respect these young guys. They don't care. Aaron Rodgers can give them a look and they'll call it. And I know that sucks. But he's earned it. They do it for Mahomes. They do it for Allen. There's a lot of guys they'll do it for. So it's not like Rodgers is alone. Draft offensive linemen. Sign 1 or 2 offensive linemen if you have to. The only offensive lineman I'm keeping, if it's up to me, is Joe Tippmann and AVT. And I'd also keep McGovern, our center, who would be our backup next year, because I think he would be a good, decent backup. And I think that he is a good motivation locker room leader for the offensive line. That's it. 3 guys. That's who I keep. The rest I get in the draft and I get in free agency. You protect Rodgers. Then you get it one more. I think our tight ends are good. I think Rucker and Conklin, I think these guys are good. So that's what I mean when I say, when we're going to run it back with Rodgers. Hackett's not going to be calling the plays. If Rodgers doesn't like the play, he's going to do what he wants. And that's that. That's what I mean when I say run it back with Rodgers. No, need O-line first. Yes, exactly. And if Joe Douglas, who has lost so much faith from me this year, if he goes out and does this, not only will I be shocked because he'll actually be doing something he should be doing, because last offseason, yes, he did get in Rodgers, which is awesome. But during this season, he made no good moves at all in season. It was highly embarrassing that what Joe Douglas did in season. Highly embarrassing. Getting through hopefully some more of these. Oh, I forgot. I lived through 0-16. That was the worst. And I was saying to Mr. Slendy earlier, you went 0-16, then you lost a few other games in the season before, and then in the season, and then who was the team that finally showed up and sucked as they suck and always have sucked that you beat? The fucking Jets. The fucking Jets. I lived through 2-2. What was it? What was that one a couple years ago? 2-14, 2-15. I forget if it was at the 17. Lived through 3-13. Lived through a 1-15. I've seen it. Not 0-16. I think, what is it? You guys and the Lions are the only ones who have done that. And you guys are the two teams that I'm always saying I feel for, because I feel like you're the blue collar fans, loyal. And I've said in my video before, I'm going to add you guys into it. Ladies, are there any ladies out there? You want to find a good man? A man who will be loyal, who will not cheat on you? Go find yourself a Jets fan. Go find yourself a Browns fan. Go find yourself a Lions fan. There you go. There's a tip for all you ladies out there. My wife's a lucky lady. And like and share. Yes, please, guys, like the video, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Midnight Mike Show, spell MIDNITE Mike Show. Get through these comments and get out of here, because I've already run 23 minutes over what I usually do. But I don't mind that, because when I have interaction with people, I love it. I love talking to you people. I was kind of tired coming in. And then I brought in my coffee, my little highball glass, and now I'm having a great time. Now I'm having a great time. I don't care who is back there. If he can't stand upright, we won't win games. Absolutely. Absolutely. And literally, that's Joe Douglas's only job in the offseason. Build that offensive line, if nothing else. If they fucking draft defensive players, I'm going to flip out. They better not draft one defensive player. Otherwise, I'm calling for Joe Douglas's head. And everyone, every other Jets fan will be too. Seriously. Vincent, as a Browns fan, I lived through misery too. I know how you feel. At least you didn't have to go through 0-16. Yeah, hey, look. That's one thing you guys have on us. Well, and you've never won a Super Bowl. Sorry. Never won a Super Bowl. But hey, this year, at least you have the chance. And I'd love to see you guys win a Super Bowl. I have no problem with a team that's been through complete misery like the Jets. The reason I compare and contrast, and I don't bring up the Super Bowl thing usually, is because I wasn't alive for that. I was born like 10 years later, right? So I can't take credit for that. Do I have my Namath jersey? Yeah. Do I have my Jets Super Bowl banner, which eventually I'm going to be putting over here? Yes. But that Super Bowl banner, as Aaron Rodgers said, is looking a little lonely. I think the Jets need one more. Can it be next year or the year after with Aaron Rodgers? That's up to Joe Douglas. Because all you have to do is protect the guy. That's all you have to do is protect the guy. And why does every Jets content creator and Jets fan know this stuff? Jesus Christ. So frustrating. Patriot is just laughing at me. Thank you, Patriot. Are you a Patriot fan or just a good old-fashioned red-blooded American patriot? Because I know I am. At least you don't have to have Todd Bowles as your head coach. I can't even say that. You can't even say that. I didn't like Todd Bowles, but I didn't like Adam Gase, and I don't like Robert Saleh. And okay, I'm going to say, okay. Picking between Todd Bowles and Robert Saleh and Adam Gase is like, please don't take offense to this. It's like being the smartest kid on the short bus. I'm sorry if that is offensive, but it's like, it's just, that's just what we always said back in the day. And this is an old school show. This is an old school show. I'm the Jets fan that in the 80s I sat next to in the upper bowl of Giant Stadium, who cursed and drank. Do you know what my dad and what everyone used to do? If anyone remembers the Green High C, which eventually became Ecto Cooler, remember Ecto Cooler? Jets fans in the upper bowls, and you could smoke. I'd be sitting there as a child, just inhaling Marlboro all around me. Maybe that's why I was a smoker for 20 years. Inhaling. So people would take a gallon milk jug and they'd fill it up with the Green High C or Ecto Cooler, and then they'd fill it with vodka. And they called it jet juice. And literally they would just pass it around the section. and people would just be swinging out of it. And my dad would be like, yeah, take a sip. But that was cool like that. Take a sip, because he knew I wouldn't like it. It's like when you give your kid a sip of beer, you know they're going to be like, ugh, and then they're not going to want to drink beer for a long time. But he'd be like, yeah, take a sip. I didn't get drunk or anything. But he wanted me to be part of that. And those guys who I saw all around me, I'm now them. I didn't show up to this all of a sudden like getting woke and not saying things and being worried about what people thought about me and all that stuff. No, I'm an angry effing Jets fan that'll fucking say whatever I want. Obviously, I'm not going to get like political or racist or homophobic or anything like that. That's stupid. But whatever I want to say about the Jets, I'm going to say. Because they suck. They suck. Jesus. So yeah, Todd Bowles, roll the dice. Todd Bowles, throw Rich Kotite in. I want to make a dice of Jets suck head coaches. And you put like Rich Kotite. It's a 6-sided. You need like Rich Kotite. Throw on, Todd Bowles. Throw on Adam Gase. Throw on Robert Saleh. That's 4. Bruce Coslett, I feel Bruce Coslett didn't do well. Throw him on there. Who is our coach in like 76? I don't remember. I wasn't alive 76. A couple years before I popped out. But throw them all on there, roll the dice. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Yes, Browns fans travel well, not just in person, but on YouTube. We're in everybody's chat. That's how I've discovered all the other teams, small content creators. Seriously, you guys definitely traveled. My 3 biggest shows, my 3 biggest videos since I started doing the Jets, and it's been, since I don't know, what was it, week 5 or 6 that I jumped on, and my wife told me, just go bitch to people online. Stop bitching to me. I was like, light bulb, let's do it. Let's do it. But in that time, my top 3 videos are 2 Dolphins videos and the Browns. All over 10,000. One is at 20,000. Like what? And you guys all come to watch me cry and complain and whatever. And I'm okay with that. That's why I do this. It's why I do this, because honestly, I don't know if there's any Dolphins fans out there, but TD Finns fan, who's on the AFC East Roundtable with Richie, love Richie too. See, there's another Jets content creator I love. I'm not afraid to send you to other people because I think my content is entertaining enough and is good enough where you could go to them and enjoy them and you'll still come back to watch me lose my fucking mind. You'll still come back because I'm crazy like that. And I want you to come back. I love talking football and the Jets with you people. I love it. But yes, the Browns fans traveled extremely well to my video. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mark Very. I think Pats are going to put aside the tank and take out the Jets. Can I? That's not going to happen. We're going to kick your ass. I don't know if you're a Patriots fan. We're going to kick the Patriots' ass. Get out of here. Where's the confidence or the bravado that I could say something so ludicrous? And I'm going to talk about it on my Thursday video. I'm going to save my Patriots talk because there's so many things that could happen where we could lose terribly and get just embarrassed. We can lose by a little bit, still embarrassing. We could win by a little bit where it's like, okay, we broke that little thing, or we win big, and that may feel good. But I'll talk about it. I'll get into more detail, especially since it's probably Bill Belichick's last game in New England. It'd be nice to win that one. I'll talk about that one on Thursday. But like I said, Mark, I don't know if you're a Pats fan, but there's no confidence with me where I can come in here and be like, no, the Jets are going to kick the shit out of them. I'd be lying. Straight to your face over video. Whatever. Brandon, Mike Evans isn't leaving Tampa. Yeah, we'll see about that. Look, Tampa surprised everybody. Baker Mayfield had a season that no one expected, but they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs if they make it. I don't think Aaron Rodgers will make the calls. Thank God. Make the calls for what? He's going to be making the calls on the field, and I want him to. He's smarter than Nathaniel Hackett. If you're talking about making the calls for drafting and free agency, he's already done it. So, and I doubt that Aaron Rodgers, the first thing he's going to say if they come to him and say, "Hey, Aaron, what do you want to do here?" He's going to say, "Protect me, please." That's all I care about. Protect me and get me one more weapon. Get me one more weapon. And that's what we need. That's all we really need. Stay healthy, get him a weapon, protect him. Protect him is the number one thing. Stay healthy. What was the second? Get him another target and protect him. Otherwise, Joe Douglas. I have no faith that Rodgers will be good next year. You've got to have faith. If you're a Jets fan, you've got to have faith because we're running it back. So you can either go into next season being completely negative, and of course, after a game, after a loss, I'm going to come on here and destroy the team. That's what I do because I'm what's the word? Where you react immediately and you just don't think about what you're saying. You just react. That's me. So I'll come on here if they lose and be like, F him, fucking whatever, because I'll be riled up and pissed. But then the next week, I will be fully on board again. I'll be wearing all my Jets stuff. That's how it is. I want to get through these chats. I appreciate the call-ins that I've gotten. I got to end out this show because it is now gone a half hour longer than I usually go. But the you guys interacting, subscribing, commenting, calling in, it's so appreciated. DS, if we play the Jets next year, throwing in the towel. I don't understand. Why would you do? First off, they're not going to play each other. They played each other this year. We're not going to play the NFC or the NFC East again. So if you're scared of the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets, hopefully with a rebuilt offensive line, you're not going to have to worry about anything unless you get to the Super Bowl and we get to the Super Bowl. Which, if the Jets and the Redskins make it to the Super Bowl next year, I'll come on here naked. Seriously, like what? That's a guarantee of something that will never happen. A guarantee. Hey, us Bucks fans been through some shit too. No, you haven't. Yes, you've been through shit historically, but you won a Super Bowl. You won 2 Super Bowls in the past, 20, 25 years? That's not being through shit. Like, we're not the same. And I know the Bucks, like the creamsicle Bucks, believe me, back in the 80s, I know you guys sucked. You guys sucked. No doubt. But if you go by the Bucks history since they changed to the like maroon and gold uniforms, please, I would give up every Jets season of football to have that run as the Bucks, or like, those records and those championships. 2 NFC championships. Do you have more? Did you get to one and miss? But you won 2. You won with Brady, and who was your quarterback when you won the first? It wasn't Dilfer, was it? I don't know, but we're not the same. I'm sorry. You guys have won 2 Super Bowls in the past 25 years. We've been to 2 AFC championship games. In 25 years, we've been into 3 AFC championship games, lost all of them. Because to 25 years, I believe that hits 98 on the right on the money. So 25 years ago December, I believe, was the Jets going into the playoffs against the Jaguars. Home playoff game. I'm going to watch that right after this. Right after this, I'm going to watch that. And how sad is that? How sad is that? So embarrassing that that's what I have to do. 4-12, 7-9, 3-13, 1-15, 0-16, horrible 5 years. I respect you, Jets fans. You know the pain. Yeah, we're so similar. Jets and Browns fans. That's why I gotta put my support behind you guys. Love Roundtable too. All this is a blast. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The Browns fans, the Dolphins fans, the Bills fans. You guys come on here and watch me flip out after games because you want to see a Jets fan crying and bitching and complaining and acting like a lunatic. That's fine. Because I look at it this way. I would love to watch TD Finn's fan and like that game where they lost, where his mom was off, or his wife was like, do you need some tea? What game was it? It was recently that the Dolphins blew that game in the end with like 3 minutes left. They blew to like a 2 touchdown lead, and he was like, oh, we got this. I would love to see him flip out like that more often. That makes me feel good. So I get why you guys who are Browns fans and Dolphins fans, Patriots fans, Bills fans, whoever, come on and watch me act like this. I get it. But like I said, if you guys do it, I would like to watch that. So Mike Allstott, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber. Nah, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Those are Hall of Famers right there in the past. Now we got Revis in, and we got Klecko in, but Klecko was like a legend thing. Klecko should have been in years ago. Klecko was robbed. If you people don't know who Joe Klecko is, look him up. All pro, 3 different positions. He would play injured, like seriously injured. This was back when football players were fucking tough. Go look up Klecko's stats. Go watch some highlights of Joe Klecko. He was robbed. He should have been in the Hall of Fame 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Calls on the field. Yeah, no, Rodgers is making the calls on the field. And I want him to. You want Hackett to do it? Because Hackett's back. Hackett, the fuckhead, is back. Do you want Hackett calling, or you want Rodgers calling? Think about it before you answer. Seriously. You want a 3, 4, whatever, how many time NFL MVP, Super Bowl champion? Or do you want the guy who has never coached well except for under Aaron Rodgers, who's the guy the other guy we're talking about? Think about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, okay. You know what, Brandon? I will tell you this. The fact that you stuck around for all this, I definitely do appreciate it. And seriously, be happy. Because Browns fans, Lions fans, Jets fans, Cardinal fans, we would all give up our records over the past 25 years for the Bucks records and championships over the past 25 years. So it's not something to be ashamed of. We're all jealous of you. Right? We're all jealous. Good night, Mike. I'll be on again. Good show. Good luck with the channel. Thank you so much, Mr. Slendy. And that will do it here for the Midnight Mike Show. Let's get that pathetic 1960s New York Jets song that failed and no one liked, so no one has heard it until I started playing it again. Go, 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 Jets. Go, 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 Jets. Green will beat them all. Are New York's best. And of north, south, east, and west. You're the greatest. Come on and let's go, 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 Jets. Thank you, guys. I am Midnight Mike. I got a few comments that I will pop up here as we head out. But thank you so much for coming by. I got another video on Thursday, a reaction video after the Patriots game, and another live next Saturday night at 9 p.m. I will see you then.